Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Hall. You may call me Dr. Kennard, and this is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show, where we're going to take a look at a few stories. We're going to share some laughs, maybe some cats. I hope you're all doing well. Let's talk about Candace Owens for a minute or two or three. Candace Owens, conservative commentator, pundit. I don't know if this what does this picture say to you? What do you think of? When I first saw this picture, I thought, wow, confident stupidity. Confident stupidity. This is what Candace Owens emits. This is what a lot of MAGA people emit. Confident stupidity. Now, I saw someone, Big Zebra, in the chat here on YouTube saying something about colloidal silver. Yes, we are going to be talking about silver. Am I going to show you a picture of a politician or a would-be politician who turned their skin blue? Yes, because that's what happens when you take too much colloidal silver. It will make your skin turn blue, everyone. All right, let's do this. Right-wing personality Candace Owens is urging her fans to consume a quack medical cure known for turning users' skin blue. In an Instagram video posted on Thursday, Owens praised the use of colloidal silver as a daily supplement, a treatment that comes with no valid medical use and plenty of health risks. Yay! Colloidal silver! Owen said in a video that, I'm sorry, everyone, that was my attempt at a silly voice. I take colloidal silver every single day. I love colloidal silver. That is a great one. That is another one that people probably know nothing about. So what are the chances that Candace Owens is getting paid from this colloidal silver manufacturer? What are the chances? Probably pretty high, to tell you the truth. While Owens and others have praised preventative use of colloidal silver as a way to stave off illness, colloidal silver has no valid medical purpose and plenty of potential dangers. In extreme cases, according to the Mayo Clinic, colloidal silver can cause seizure or organ problems. Owens didn't respond to a request for a comment. But colloidal silver, most famous side effect is argyra. I mispronounced that probably, and I'm sorry to the medical condition. A condition that turns users' skin a bluish gray color, usually permanently. Despite those risks, colloidal silver has sometimes been embraced by political outsiders, including some libertarians, seeking treatment for a variety of illnesses outside the medical system. Montana, libertarian politician Stan Jones, for example, turned his skin blue by consuming colloidal silver. As soon as I read that, I Googled Stan Jones's name and I got to his Wikipedia page. And yes, everyone, I have a picture of Stan Jones. And did he really turn his skin that color? Well, I'll let you decide. Here he is. Stan Jones, Montana, Big L Libertarian candidate. I believe he's a Big L Libertarian. And here he is. It's wow, look at him. A bluish gray skin. That is what you get, everyone, when if you were going to have an unregulated healthcare industry like libertarians want, like some radical Republicans want, a completely unregulated healthcare industry. If you have no FDA whatsoever, you're going to have a lot of people with this color skin. In the same video in which she praised colloidal silver, Owens downplayed Trump's support for the vaccines, claiming Trump is too old to read anti-vaccine information on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, confident stupidity. A picture of confident stupidity. Owens downplayed Trump's support for the vaccines, claiming Trump is too old to read anti-vaccine information on the internet. She also attacked vaccinations more broadly, claiming, among other things, that there's real evil behind tetanus shots. Is it the devil? Is it Satan? Is Satan lurking in tetanus shots? I'm just intrigued with what confident stupidity thinks about tetanus shots. Oh, everyone. I'm going to check out the chat. So if you're watching on Twitter, that's my cat, if you can hear my cat in the background. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook, you'll notice that I'm communicating with the chat here on YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't see your comments and observations on Twitter and Facebook, but if you come over here on YouTube, I can. I hope everyone's doing well this morning, by the way. Oh, wait. Big Zebra, radical. Brainbug. I'm glad to see Brainbug here. Always good. Brainbug levels up the discourse here in the chat. The stupid just never ends. That's right, Dee Parks. It doesn't. It doesn't. Good morning, John Hudson. And yeah, Big Zebra, colloidal silver, and you become a Smurf. For what, right? Stan Jones. How much colloidal silver do you need to take to turn your skin blue? Permanently blue. What's up, Simply Secular Dave? It's good to see you this morning. Cryptameria? Oh, yes. And I thought I saw Tobin Templeman kicking around here somewhere. MC Fractal, good morning. You and the cats for a few days, huh? All right. And I did post this in the chat. This is my newest piece on Medium. It's called The Low Bar List of New Year's Resolutions. New Year's is coming around. There's this kind of pressure on people to make New Year's resolutions. Here's my take on it. So, if you do read the piece, please give it a clap. A clap is like an upvote, everyone. All right. I got to get to the next show. I got to get to the next story. I'd love to chat with you all but I have to get to the next story because this show goes from 9 o'clock to 9:25. And then we do the after party after show at 9:30. The after party after show goes from 9:30 to 10:30 typically. So this is going to be a sad case of what happens when people do not respect the science. They do not respect and understand science. And of course, I'm talking about COVID-19. I'm talking about anti-vaxxers. Look, everyone, we know that there are over 800,000 deaths here in the States due to COVID-19. I was reading in The Economist the other day that they are projecting the number closer to 1 million. That's realistic. But it isn't just the deaths from the disease itself, from the virus itself, that we should worry about. It's also the deaths caused by people not being vaccinated. And this is a sad story of that. Man dies after a 15-day wait for a medical center bed. His survivors blame the COVID surge. I wouldn't blame the COVID surge. I would blame those people like Candace Owens who are anti-vaxxers, like Joe Rogan who are anti-vaxxers. Those are the people who I blame. Des Moines, Iowa. Dale Weeks' family believes he was an indirect victim of the COVID-19 pandemic. The retired Iowa school superintendent died in late November, nearly a month after he was diagnosed with sepsis, a dangerous bloodborne infection unrelated to the coronavirus. His daughters think he may have survived if he'd been admitted immediately to a large medical center where he could have received advanced testing and prompt surgery. Sepsis is serious. I worked with people who had disabilities, physical and intellectual disabilities. There's one gentleman who was prone to sepsis, and let me tell you, we had a very definite list of things to do if he even had symptoms of sepsis, and he had to go to one of the local hospitals to get looked at to make sure it did not progress. Because if you have a blood infection, it can go sideways really, really fast. But this gentleman, he stayed for 15 days at Newton's relatively small hospital because the bigger Iowa facility said they couldn't spare a bed for him, his family says. Iowa's short-staffed hospitals have been jammed for months with patients, including people severely sickened with coronavirus. It is infuriating that people who are not vaccinated are clogging it up, said Jennifer Owenson of Des Moines, who is one of Week's 4 children. Look, I don't know if any of you here in the States have tried to access medical care. It is tough. I got an email yesterday, actually, from my doctor's office that basically said, do not bother us. We are down 50% staff. Our staffing is down by 50%. Please don't call us unless it's an emergency. And actually, if it's an emergency, you should be going to the hospital. I got an email like that yesterday, and wow, that's how bad things are. The governor of Massachusetts, he's not saying they're going to be doing mobile hospitals yet, facilities for COVID-19 patients, but he's getting the National Guard, I believe it's the National Guard ready to implement them in case it's necessary or when it's necessary. Here we go. Weeks lived in southern Iowa town of Seymour. When he began feeling ill, he thought it might be a side effect of the flu shot and a booster shot of coronavirus vaccine. On the night of November 1st, he went to the hospital in nearby Centerville, where staff determined he had sepsis. They told my dad and his wife right away they had no beds, Owenson said. The staff called around for hours seeking an open hospital bed. At first, the closest one they could find was in Illinois. Then, by midday the next day, they found a spot at Mercy One Hospital in Newton, 80 miles north of Centerville. He was taken there by ambulance. On November 17th, after 15 days, he was taken to the University of Iowa hospitals by ambulance. Doctors there determined on November 25th he needed surgery to clear out a severe infection of an artery near his stomach, where years earlier he had a stent installed to repair an aneurysm. They said he really had no choice. He needed to have surgery or he would die in a few days, said Owenson's twin sister, Julia Szymanski of Ankeny. The November 26th surgery lasted 17 hours, but Weeks continued to struggle. His daughter said a surgeon told the family it was one of the worst infections she'd ever seen. The reason why it was one of the worst infections she'd ever seen, more than likely, is the fact that he wasn't able to get it properly taken care of. And the reason why, once again, he wasn't able to get it properly taken care of is because of the anti-vaccinated jamming up the medical system. A second, shorter operation didn't reverse his decline. His kidneys and intestines were failing. He died on November 28th at the age of 78. And the thing is, his death is not going to be recorded as caused by COVID-19. When the dust settles from the pandemic, we will probably see statistics like deaths directly caused by COVID-19 and then deaths indirectly caused by COVID-19. And he's probably going to be listed in one of the deaths that were indirectly caused by COVID-19. That's my guess. Representatives of the hospital declined to comment on the case, but they acknowledged the frustration caused by hospital crowding. In addition to an increased number of COVID-19 cases and the spread of the Delta and Omicron variants, hospitals across the country are dealing with traumas and experiencing multiple types of illness, Mercy One spokesperson Marcy Peterson wrote in an email to the Des Moines Register. This demand is coupled with a reduced number of staff to care for patients. These challenges constrain available resources and contribute to delays in care or other complications for patients. And here it is, everyone. The obvious. She noted that unvaccinated people make up a large percentage of hospitalized COVID-19 patients. I'm just going to say this. If you have two people, someone who's unvaccinated, and you have someone who has been vaccinated with a serious illness, and if there's only one bed available, that one bed should go to the person who has been vaccinated. Am I wrong to say that? I don't think I am. You tell me what your opinions are. I'm going to check the chat out before we do the halftime tummy rub show. Clockwork Rex. Good morning, Clockwork. Glad to see that you're here. Stupid, Marmaduke Scarlet, is the real pandemic. Totally agree with you on that. Totally agree with that. Tesla Ranger, glad to see that you're here. Tesla Ranger. And yes, he is Tesla Ranger, as always. Whenever Tesla Ranger is here, puts in links about the effects of silver right there. Dee Parks says, after 2 years of stupid, I'm really over these people. I'm trying to still have compassion for them, but it's wearing very thin. Indeed, I can see that. And that's another side effect, which we don't talk a lot about on this channel, but maybe we should. This is another side effect of the pandemic. It is how it affects our humanity. It affects how we treat and how we think and how we feel about other people. All right. I think I'm caught up with everyone here in the chat. And now let's do the halftime tummy rub show. The halftime tummy rub show is where we take a breather, we take a deep breath in, and we get to enjoy something funny, something that has to do with cats. And you know, Brainbug, this is exactly what I thought too, by the way, about does colloidal silver work on werewolves? I would think it would. Let's check out a I've never seen one of those before. I guess it's minty, and you put it on your door. I think I'm going to get one for Biscuit, actually, our cat. Biscuit isn't here right now, but I saw that. It's like, that looks really cool. I wonder if she would like that. Last story, everyone. This is a bit more positive. It's about the state of Pennsylvania and how they're dealing with a history of racism. Links are all in the description below. And by the way, I keep forgetting to mention this, that there are no ads here, right? I don't want to subject you to corporate propaganda by Amazon. And so this channel is supported by YouTube members. Please become a member if you haven't. By patrons, by people who toss me a few pennies, a few dollars via Venmo and PayPal. Yes, the links are in the description below, because I will not run ads. It doesn't matter how many subscribers I have. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter how big the channel grows. No ads. I'm not going to do it. Racial reckoning turns focus to roadside historical markers. And here you can see a marker here in Pennsylvania of the squaw campaign. Let's go on to the story. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has been installing historical markers for more than a century. When the racist violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, in August 2017 brought a fresh round of questions from the public about just whose stories were being told on the state's roadsides and the language used to tell them. The increased scrutiny helped prompt a review of all 2,500 markers by the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission, a process that has focused on factual errors, inadequate historical context, and racist or otherwise inappropriate references. So far, the state has removed 2 markers, revised 2, and offered new text for 2 others. And here's another example of a marker. This is General Anthony Wayne. Let's see, the house in which the revolutionary leader and Indian fighter. Yeah. When you start thinking about the colonization of this hemisphere as basically an invasion, it was an invasion. The colonization of this hemisphere, of North America and South America, it was an invasion by European powers. And you got to look at these signs in that perspective. State government took down a marker in Pittsburgh's Point State Park that noted the location where General John Forbes had a 1758 victory that the marker claimed established Anglo-Saxon supremacy in the United States. Once again, let's read it again. A marker that celebrated a 1758 military victory and the marker claimed established Anglo-Saxon supremacy in the United States. Native American related markers typically frame the indigenous people in terms of the Europeans who displaced them, such as this, I'm going to butcher this name, Uninia County marker about a stockade built around 1755 to protect settlers from Indian marauders. There was a lot of tap dancing around who initiated which battle or skirmish, said historian Ira Beckerman, who recently produced a study focused on Pennsylvania markers that relate to Black and Native American history. If the settlers started it, it was a battle and therefore worthy. If the Native Americans responded in kind, it was a massacre, savagery, etc. Beckerman concluded that as a whole, the state's 348 Native American historical markers tell a pretty accurate and compelling story of racism and white nationalism. Good job, Pennsylvania, in taking down those markers. Job well done. See something positive to end this show, everyone. Scapegoat Iscariot says, I've been saying this for years, but I've been saying it in the South where intelligence is forbidden. The European world of 500 years ago invaded the entire world. Yes, you can definitely see that there is a straight line between the Crusades, where Western Europeans attempted to conquer and did for a short period of time, the so-called Holy Land. And when that didn't work out well for the Europeans, that they just took the Crusades to the New World. All right. I think I covered everything this morning, everyone. And thank you for showing up. Thank you for all of you in the chat. Thank you for all of you who are watching on Twitter and Facebook too. What I'm going to do is drop another cat video before officially closing out the show. I picked that cat because that cat looks like my cat, Biscuit. Gonna check out the chat one more time. Yay, kitties make it all better. That's right, Cryptameria. So once again, if you want to be on the panel to the after party after show, the link is in the description below. Of course, there are rules for being on the panel. We have to know you. Someone has to vouch for you on the panel, maybe in the chat. Or we know you from being part of the community. You've been commenting on YouTube. I know you personally. That's, because what happens if we let people on the panel, then they're just going to spam us, and we can't have that, everyone. Your day is made. Very good. I'm glad to hear that. So I'm going to drop the video of my thank you to all YouTube members and patrons. Thanks again, everyone. I'll see you at 9:30. Well, Theo, sometimes I do a little post-show thinking and reflection. The whole imperialism and supremacy entitlement to land comes from the nobles. You are correct about that. Yes. I could talk a lot more about it, but I got to get ready. I got to get ready for the after party after show. Take care, everyone.